Hey travelers, let's talk Europe. That first trip across the pond is a significant journey. The cobblestone streets, the smells of 1,000 years of history, languages you can't understand but somehow feel in your gut. It's captivating. But before you grab that baguette and take a photo in front of the Eiffel Tower, there are a few things you should know. Europe is not like home. It's a different world with different rules, different customs. Today I'm sharing the top 10 essential tips every American should know before traveling to Europe. Get ready, it's about to get informative. First things first, let's talk about getting your ass across that giant puddle of water. You can't very well waltz into Europe without the proper documentation. That means a passport, my friend, and not one that expires next week. Make sure that bad boy has at least 6 months left before it goes belly up. And listen, I know paperwork is about as exciting as watching paint dry, but trust me, dealing with expired documents in a foreign country is a special kind of hell you don't want to experience. Now, depending on where you're headed in Europe, you might need a visa too. Don't just assume you can waltz in with your American passport and call it a day. Do your research. Check the visa requirements for your specific destinations. The last thing you want is to get turned away at the border because you didn't do your due diligence. It's not pretty, and it involves a lot of awkward explanations and missed connections. Bureaucracy is a pain in the ass, but consider this a small price to pay for the adventure that awaits you. Think of it this way, you're basically a modern-day explorer, venturing into the unknown. Listen up, because this is important. While credit cards are widely accepted in most of Europe, you're gonna need some cold, hard cash for smaller businesses, local markets, and those charming little cafes tucked away on side streets. Trust me, there's nothing worse than being caught short when you're trying to buy a hand-rolled cigar from a guy with one eye and a parrot on his shoulder. You want to be prepared, not scrambling for an ATM. When it comes to exchanging your hard-earned American dollars, avoid those airport kiosks like the plague. They'll slap you with outrageous fees and terrible exchange rates. Your best bet is to hit up an ATM once you're in town. Just make sure you let your bank know you'll be traveling, so they don't flag your card and shut you down in the middle of a foreign country. And here's a little pro tip. Consider getting a travel credit card that doesn't charge foreign transaction fees. All right, let's talk about the elephant in the room, the language barrier. Now, I'm not expecting you to become fluent in French, Italian, and Spanish overnight. But trust me, learning a few basic phrases in the local language will go a long way. Start with the essentials. Hello, goodbye, please, thank you, excuse me, and of course, where's the bathroom? You'd be surprised how far these simple words can get you. Not only will it make your interactions smoother, but it also shows the locals that you're making an effort. And who knows, you might even get a smile or two in return. Even if you butcher the pronunciation, at least you're trying, right? And that's what counts. Let's talk about electricity, baby. See, Europe, they do things a little differently over there. Different voltage, different plugs, the whole shebang. And unless you want to fry your electronics or spend your trip with a dead phone, you're gonna need an adapter. Trust me, there's nothing worse than getting to your hotel after a long flight, only to realize you can't charge your phone, laptop, or camera. It's a recipe for disaster, especially in this day and age when we rely on our devices for everything. So do yourself a favor and pick up a universal adapter before you go. They're cheap, they're easy to find, and they'll save you a whole lot of hassle. Plus, you can use them on future trips to other parts of the world. Now, while you're at it, consider getting a portable charger too. That way you can keep your devices juiced up on the go, whether you're exploring ancient ruins, wandering through museums, or indulging in a 3-hour lunch at a sidewalk cafe. Remember, a dead phone is a useless phone. I know what you're thinking. Insurance? That's for old people and worriers. And listen, I get it. You're young, you're invincible, you're ready to take on the world. But here's the thing. Shit happens. Bags get lost, flights get delayed, people get sick. It's not a matter of if, but when. And when it does, you're gonna want to be prepared. Trust me, I've seen it all. I've seen people lose their passports, get food poisoning, and break bones in the most unfortunate places. And let me tell you, dealing with those situations is a hell of a lot easier when you have travel insurance. I'm talking about comprehensive coverage that will protect you in case of medical emergencies, lost luggage, trip cancellations, and even acts of terrorism. It's a small price to pay for peace of mind. All right, let's talk about getting around. See, Europe, they've got this whole public transportation thing down to a science. Trains, buses, trams, subways, even bicycles. They've got it all, and trust me, it's the best way to experience the continent like a local, not a tourist. Now, some people may scoff at the idea of public transportation. But listen, I'm telling you, it's the way to go. It's cheap, it's efficient, and it'll take you to all the best spots that tour buses don't even know exist. Plus, it's a great way to people watch. You'll see all walks of life on public transportation, from businessmen in suits to grandmothers with groceries to hipsters with man buns. It's a sociological experiment on wheels. Make sure you have the correct ticket. Be aware of your surroundings. Pickpockets are a real thing, especially in crowded tourist areas. All right, let's talk about something crucial: cultural etiquette. See, Europe's got its own set of customs and social graces, and while they're not going to banish you for a faux pas, understanding the nuances can make your trip smoother, and honestly, more respectful. First up, greetings. In many European countries, a handshake's the standard way to say hello and goodbye. But pay attention, sometimes a kiss on both cheeks is customary, even between new acquaintances. Don't be afraid to go with the flow, it's all part of the charm. Next, table manners. Europeans take their dining seriously. Keep your hands above the table, don't start eating until everyone's served, and for God's sake, don't talk with your mouth full. Now, tipping. Unlike the States, where tipping's practically mandatory, in Europe it's more about rounding up the bill or leaving a few extra euros if the service was good. Being mindful of local customs shows you're not just another clueless tourist, you're a guest in their home. All right, let's talk about technology. Specifically, how to use it without racking up a phone bill that could rival the national debt. See, roaming charges in Europe can be brutal. We're talking wallet-emptying, soul-crushing brutal. But don't worry, I've got your back. The solution is simple: offline maps. Before you leave your hotel room, fire up your Google Maps, type in your destination, and hit that download offline map button. Boom! You've now got a digital map of your surroundings that you can access without using data. And hey, while you're at it, download a few translation apps too. Google Translate is a lifesaver when you need to decipher a menu, ask for directions, or have a conversation with someone who doesn't speak your language. Be smart, be prepared, and download those offline maps. There's a time and a place for mindless scrolling, and that time is not when you're lost in a foreign country with a dead battery and no way to communicate. All right, let's talk about packing, because nobody wants to be that tourist lugging around a suitcase the size of a small car. Here's the thing: Europeans, they tend to pack light and dress practically. They're all about versatility, comfort, and looking effortlessly chic. So, ditch the cargo shorts, the flip-flops, and the fanny pack, and pack clothes that can be mixed and matched, layered for different weather conditions, and won't make you look like a walking fashion disaster. Think neutral colors, classic pieces, and comfortable shoes. You'll be doing a lot of walking, so leave the stilettos at home, ladies. And guys, unless you're planning on attending a royal wedding, you can probably leave the tuxedo behind too. Putting in a little effort goes a long way. Pack light, dress smart, and leave the sweatpants at home. All right, let's talk about the good stuff, the food. See, Europe is a goddamn culinary paradise. From Michelin-starred restaurants to hole-in-the-wall cafes, there's something to tantalize every taste bud. And trust me, you don't want to come all this way and eat at McDonald's. So ditch the tourist traps, put on your adventurous pants, and get ready to experience a world of flavors. First things first, embrace the local cuisine. Don't be afraid to try new things, even if you don't know what they are. Ask the waiter for recommendations, order the daily special, and be open to surprises. Next, hit up the local markets. There's no better way to experience the heart and soul of a city than by wandering through its markets, soaking up the sights, sounds, and smells, and sampling the local delicacies. And for the love of all that is holy, don't forget about the wine. Just promise me you'll go out there and experience it for yourself. So there you have it. 10 essential tips to help you survive and thrive on your first trip to Europe. Remember to pack light, dress smart, learn a few key phrases, and embrace the local culture. And most importantly, don't be afraid to get lost, to try new things, and to make memories that will last a lifetime. Europe is a magical place, and I envy you the adventure that awaits. Now, I want to hear from you. What are your top tips for first-time travelers to Europe? Share your wisdom, your experiences, and your horror stories in the comments below. Safe travels and enjoy your European adventure. And if you learned something new today, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell for more travel tips and guides.